A 14-year-old boy in America was once accused of murdering two young girls. The case was tried twice. The first verdict came within minutes, and the second one arrived decades later. Even today, it is remembered as one of the most painful chapters in American justice. The story begins in a quiet town in South Carolina. Two sisters set out on bicycles to gather wildflowers. Along the road, they met another pair of sisters who lived on a nearby farm and asked them where they could find a flower people called maypops. When they couldn't get an answer, the girls rode off. And by evening, panic spread when they didn't return home. People searched through the night. Eventually, their bodies were discovered near a railway track, their bicycles lying beside them. Shock turned into anger. The police suspected murder. Yet when doctors examined the bodies, there were no signs of sexual assault, and there wasn't enough evidence to explain what had really happened. But pressure mounted. The victims belonged to a white farming family, and failing to arrest someone would have brought severe backlash. Instead of following the case carefully, the authorities did what often happens in unjust systems. They grabbed the nearest suspect. That suspect was George, a black teenager who had only spoken to the girls earlier that day. Despite being just 14, he was taken away, beaten, separated from his family, and forced to sign a confession no one else witnessed. His parents and lawyer were denied access. The supposed murder weapon was never found. George was put on trial before an all-white jury. Jim Crow laws barred black citizens from serving as jurors, eating in the same restaurants, or sharing schools and public places. In such an environment, George never had a chance. His lawyer called no witnesses, challenged nothing, and allowed the case to rush forward. Within hours, the trial ended, and the jury deliberated only 10 minutes before declaring George guilty. He had no right to appeal. He spent his last night alone. When he was brought to the electric chair, he was so small that a Bible had to be placed beneath him to make the equipment fit. He kept insisting he was innocent, and moments later, he was gone. He became the youngest person executed in America in the 20th century. Decades passed. Eventually, a local historian came across George's story and began digging. Old records revealed shocking details. There had been no written confession, no reliable witnesses, and no opportunity for George to defend himself. His family confirmed he had been with them at the time, something never allowed in court. Investigators even discovered that the bodies had likely been moved, making it nearly impossible for a child of his size to have committed the crime alone. Despite all this, the governor of the state, fearing political backlash, had once refused to commute George's death sentence, even repeating false claims that were never supported by medical reports. Years later, the case finally returned to court. Surviving witnesses, family members, and experts testified that the trial had been rushed and deeply unfair. Many official records were gone, but what remained painted a clear picture. George had never been given justice. After months of hearings, the judge declared that the state had failed to provide a fair trial. George's conviction was overturned long after his death. His family finally heard the words they had waited for, though the decision could never undo the tragedy, neither for George nor for the two young girls who also never received true justice. To this day, this case stands as a haunting reminder of what happens when fear, racism, and haste replace fairness in the courts, and why such mistakes must never be repeated.